Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse, and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at something that's kind of come about inspired by the stream that we did recently. And so, in the stream, we played 12 total games, and we came across 10 Zax opponents and 2 Extilior opponents. So, there's a distinct lack of Astra in the meta at the moment. So, what we've come up with is an Astra test list. So, what I've done with this, there was someone called Maybe Tomorrow who posted in the Discord, and they had an Astra list that they said they've been having some success with. I've made a couple of tweaks to that in just to sort of fit my playstyle a little bit better, and I've actually been really enjoying how this has played out. So I'm looking at giving this a go and seeing if we can make some work, make it work a little bit better. So for our early game, we're only running Beatris, and this is a huge risk. So Beatris is obviously a powerful unit, but positioning is really important, and it's the only thing we've got holding down the early game. But what this list focus on is making really good use of Into the Breach, so giving a unit charge basically very often. So what we're going to be looking to do early on is maybe charge Toxoid, charge a Tipu out, something like that, and then in the say the later game, charging a Shrapnel or charging a Broken Vengeance is really, really powerful. So Broken Vengeance can just one-shot a lot of different melee units. Shrapnel can start dealing with multiple units at once if they're all grouped up and they don't know the AoE is coming. And then what I found in the late game was we had so much Cinder because this list was using Cinder Orbs consistently. A lot of the other lists we've played have been somewhat cautious on the Cinder Orbs, so maybe running one, sometimes two per game. We're using them all the time here. So we want to be just sort of building it out as quickly as possible. Lots of ramp, lots of additional Cinder usage, and finding ways to use that led us to bring in Florio Lancer. Now, as our last bits of anti-aggro tech, we've obviously got the normal combo of Aegys Defense Dome and Ursix Nectarvine, but these have been coming up more and more often in anti-aggro lists. And what I like about them is the Nectarvine having that immediate impact is so powerful. So at the turn you play it, before your enemies get to attack you, you'll have healed 2 health. And then with the Defense Dome, the two of them together means that if they attack the Defense Dome, it starts healing up, and if they end up attacking the Nectarvine, it only takes 1 damage a turn from the Defense Dome. So this is a really good defensive combo. What I find myself often doing is moving away from it, attacking for a turn or two, and as I get low, moving back in range of this, healing up a little bit, and becoming a little bit more tanky. Because obviously the Nectarvine can't move, but Aegis Defense Dome can. So I've had a lot of fun with this, and I actually think it's got a bit of potential. It's not. Oh, that's the wrong list. It's not the most powerful thing we've played so far, but I actually don't think it's far off of being a competitive list. So I might be wrong. It might just be the case that a really aggressive early start can run me over 9 times out of 10. I haven't played enough games to figure that out, but I do genuinely feel quite safe a lot of the time, and I think it's just a fun way of playing the game a little bit different. So one of the things I've started thinking is, what if, first of all, we need to look at this. Well, Stowaway is probably not quite what we want, and Corrosive is good, but I think Vortex and Ion Storm match what we're trying to do here quite well. Vortex is really powerful, Ion Storm's great. This is going to be really bad against anything other than other control lists because Stowaway is just a dead assist most of the time. But yeah, so I was thinking, against last match, I played against them previously. But what I've noticed is that a lot of the time, the discussion has come down to whether or not... Is that a Maximus? It is a Maximus. Okay, so this is obviously our standard nemesis. But what I want to do is try and make it so that wherever I place our orb is going to be the hardest for them to get it into line of sight. So I think placing this here and growing this into here, just as far away, there we go. So just here. And basically, I'm trying to figure out if the answer is... Because people are finding... Again, this is going to be Disruptor and we're going to lose our Cinder, which is a shame, because if we kept the Cinder, we'd actually probably be able to kill Maximus early on. Now, this is the right thing for them to do, but we can just play out a Shrapnel this turn going second. So here's the thing that I found. If we're going first, we have a reasonable chance of just protecting our Cinder Sphere. If we're going second, we get the second Wind Assist, and we can play out a Shrapnel or something turn 2. So I think this actually does work going first or second, this strategy, and we're fine with them trying to shoot our sphere. It means they're not attacking us. If they take it, however, that was unexpected. So this is interesting. This is a very bad start for us. Okay, they're still playing Deadeye. So I imagine what we might be doing here is just... I think we're just going to play Shrapnel and hide our assist. So we're going to move in. We're probably going to try and get one shot on Deadeye and play a Shrapnel around here as well. So this is a really aggressive start from them, and obviously we're in a lot of trouble here, but this is where Vortex is going to be useful as well. So Antios Gauntlet can't move that far, so I feel like if we get to about here, we're safe from Antios Gauntlet, which is what we're worried about here, and just get a little bit of damage on. Yeah. And then we're going to use our second wind, play our Shrapnel out. Or the other option is playing Broken Vengeance and using that to just take out Antios Gauntlet next turn, but I think Shrapnel is what we want to be doing here, and just getting as much sort of multiple damage sources out per turn. Next turn we don't have a good option. Okay, so they've got Cinder Infusion on Maximus, who's probably going to be the safest unit they've got. But yeah, so what I was thinking before is, obviously the way I've been trying to compete with early game lists a lot of the time has been to just play my own early game units and try and compete on that front. And I was thinking recently, what if I'm not going big enough and I should be trying to go for bigger selections of units, like bigger cost units, and trying to work out a way to attack that route. So I want to give it a go and figure out if going bigger can end up working for us. And so far I've had decent success with this list. I've played a couple of people around, we've got this as a level 79 opponent. I've played a couple that are that level or higher, and I've had a really good rate so far. We are obviously losing health, so this is one of those games where we really need to consider getting Nectarvine out quite early. With this here, though, we're going to have to play probably Beatris next turn and try and save some Cinder. Okay, so we absolutely want to minus all of these to hit. This is our solution. So I found also Ion Storm to be significantly more useful in this kind of list than it has been in others. We could also potentially try and just group them up a little and go for a bigger hit, but this I think almost helps them. So I think we do need to do something along those lines and sort of group them up a little, but the question is, how's the best way to do it? And I think maybe pulling them to here and then using Shrapnel and Beatris to block this route is going to be the way to do it. So if we play, say, Shrapnel here and go for this sort of AoE attack there, we'll pop Beatris down over here. In fact, what we'll do is move slightly further away first and get another hit onto Deadeye. Can we get out of range of Antios here? No, we can't. So I think this is what we do. The problem is they've got Disruptor, so we're trying to find a way that we can do this so that Disruptor doesn't just stop us surviving. We want Disruptor to not give them an easy route down here. So we are probably prized into trying to play Nectarvine next turn potentially, or if we can get something useful in there. So because they're not getting damage here, maybe they don't want to use Disruptor actually, because they might not get any damage. Oh no, they're going for it. So this is what we wanted here, so that if they try and push these away, they can either only go backwards or towards them. It means it's harder for them to get as many units onto us. They can probably do it. Disruptor's a really powerful ability, but this is an inefficient turn to do so. So with 6 Cinder next turn, there's a good chance I'm going to either haste out Broken Vengeance or Tipu. And what I might even do is... oh no, because it's only 5. So it's going to be hasting Toxoid. Yeah, so this is... they can get in with this, but they can probably... I don't know if they can fit both in. Yeah, we might have to be on Nectarvine and just use these guys to try and take them out, but... again, Nectarvine here is hard for them to deal with. Yeah, and can they get through? At the moment, it doesn't look like it, but they might just need to spend their Cinder. This might be a distance thing rather than a gap thing. Yeah. This is fine. So... yeah, so this probably has to be a Nectarvine turn, unfortunately, and then we will have to rely on a crit. Or... okay, so we've got 7 Cinder. What can we kill here? So we can probably kill Estley if we wanted to. We need to deal with this. We can't take too much damage, so what can we do with Shrapnel here? Beatris can only really get to this direction. So I think we have to kill Esley, but then we're taking 4, 6, and then this. I think we might just be slightly short of doing what we need to, but you know what? Let's try Shrapnel first, moving Beatris here and going for this shot. So if this hits here, there we go, we're in a good spot here. We need this. Oh, I'm really kind of stuck here. I think it might even be go for the crit. No, we didn't get the crit. So I think we have to go for blocking Antios and just hoping we live, to be honest. Popping Toxoid in here. I don't think this is enough, because all they need to do is get Detonia in range and we're dead, is the problem. Or a miss. Oh, I thought we'd block that off. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, so that didn't go well, but we weren't far off. That was a pretty close game. I feel like I probably made a few misplays there. Like, there were different options here. We definitely could have killed Antios and then maybe tried to block off Blindsider Esley, but then Detonia is seeing a lot more play at the moment, because Detonia's just got that guaranteed consistent damage. Oh, we're leveling up Tipu again. Oh wait, is Tipu only level 2? So that is a... Oh, we're short because we lost. So, I don't think that was that bad of a start. You know, I think that had potential. We were very close to stabilising. We had the Nectarvine down. I think them having Disruptor and getting that Cinder in the early game was really big for them, but we can't say that as if that's an unlikely occurrence. A lot of people play those sort of strategies very early on. I think the unfortunate part there was that we left it in a position where they could actually take the Cinder and get an extra unit out. That, I think, was much more impactful. Ooh, another Astra. So, versus another Astra, I'm almost tempted to look at Disruptor Stowaway. We want Disruptor because it's really good for taking their Cinder Orbs. Stowaway could be decent. I think I want to try this out. So I'm going to move over here, but I'm going to grow a Cinder safely at the back. I should have actually done the thing, because basically if you put the Cinder in this little nook, there's no way of them getting to it turn 1. But let's just place our Cinder safely here, because we want to, imply that we're going heavily on the aggressive front to try and steal their Cinder, but we might actually just want to take this and leave it. What you can also do, sure, and they're going to place a Cinder there. Okay, so interesting enough, I think there's a good chance we can actually move them. Maybe not quite. I was thinking maybe we could even move them far enough away from their Cinder that they can't even get to it. So let's try this and see what we can do. 72 is a good chance. Excellent. And then we can Beatris here if we want to. But honestly, I think we might even just... Because Beatris there is awkward. And I don't want to Stowaway yet because Beatris is useful and Toxoid is useful. So Stowaway is not that good here. But this only gets us up an extra couple, so... I actually think we just grow another Cinder and pass the turn here. So this way we've got so much Cinder coming up. Are they trying to disrupt us here, or Vortex? If they Vortex, that's fine. We just get it back. There's maybe an Orbital, but that shouldn't be ready yet. Disruptor. And then Vortex, and just make me take the Cinder, so I can only bank 3. That's pretty reasonable. It's not going to be too harmful to me, unfortunately. Sure. Oh, that didn't even do what they wanted either. So they've got Disruptive Vortex, so that's actually quite good versus us in general. But if they go for this, this is bold. They can place onto our orb. Okay, they didn't? Oh, yeah, they can... so they can use Beatris and try and... Can they get here and kill our orb? What level? Oh, they're level 8, so maybe they haven't figured these things out quite yet. But this is a good aggressive start. So where do we want to go here? We've got loads of options. We've got 5, 6, 7... Is this 8, isn't it now? Yeah, 8 Cinder. So we can go for anything. It's probably something like Shrapnel and Broken Vengeance, but we could also Beatris there, Beatris, and play something else. I think we wanted Beatris and I think we want to play Beatris here, basically. So we'll get this hit. Oh, we didn't use an ability first. What a fool. So we've now just lost some cinder. We could grow Tipu. You know what? Let's actually grow Tipu. Because Tipu can be quite the hard thing for them to deal with. So he takes 2 here, but then grows for 1. So this is going to make it hard for them to deal with. And then, do you know what? I think we do stow away and get rid of Beatris now. Because I think we've got options in the future. Aria's not what we want, but we can Toxoid next turn, take something out. They could obviously into the breach here, but they've got very little cinder compared to us. You know, next turn I'm probably just playing either Shrapnel or Broken Vengeance. So, again, Beatris can hit here, but we hit back, we grow, they take 2, and we've got Disruptor next turn, so we can actually start maybe even knocking Beatris away and starting going on to Astra or whatever they play next. They've got Disruptor Vortex next turn and additional Cinder, so we need to be careful of that. I'm not sure where our best route is here. It might even just be Nectarvine and keep Tipu safe. So what are they playing? So they're playing Rickety, and are they just going to run away a bit? Because running away is nothing to be afraid of here. Nothing to be ashamed of, rather. So is that a move? Okay, that's just a move so they could get a hit, yeah. And then this was running away, I think. So what we might actually end up doing here is moving in, attacking, disrupting away, and then using Nectarvine to heal. And what's their next play? Is that a Cinder Orb? If it's a Cinder Orb, we probably just deploy onto the Cinder Orb, let's be honest. Is that too close? No. So, I mean, how we can easily deploy onto that with a 4-drop. And if we put in something like Shrapnel or Broken Vengeance, that's actually pretty solid. So let's try something along these lines. So let's hit here. Ooh, the crit's brutal. So we want to move something like this. And then we'll hop on over here. So we're using our life total as a resource here, very much so. But that is the way to play, in my opinion. And then, honestly, I think we just play Shrapnel. Actually, maybe Broken Vengeance. Let's go Broken Vengeance here, because this could actually set off the Beatris chain if they play it incorrectly. Although he does die a lot quicker. Let's just play Shrapnel. And then we can try and grow a Cinder safely back here. So they're going to almost definitely be able to kill our Tipu here, which is a shame. Maybe we should have played Nectarvine, but next turn we can into the Reach Toxoid. We might take a load of damage here. Okay, so they can't get into this gap, which is what we are scared of. But if they Vortex and things, we could take a lot of damage off of Rickety here. I think we're in an interesting spot. Again, this is only a level 8 opponent, so maybe this isn't the best list after all. But I feel like it's not far off of having legs. You know, it needs a little bit of help to get to where it needs to be. So this is Disruptor. Oh, so they're vortexing all of this then to Rickety? Or just to... to Beatris, maybe? Yeah, so they're trying to get this so that Beatris can get the attack, kill Tipu without having to actually go into range of Tipu, which is clever. Okay. Oh, they've got loads of damage here. Oh, this is good. Yeah, they're playing really well. Our opponent's doing a really good job here. So we could potentially have 7 damage next turn. That I disagree with. Okay, yeah, that's just dead now. Because it had extra damage, so it does 1 more to itself as well. Okay, so there might be an angle here where you can shoot both. Yeah, so this should work. There we go. We just want the additional cinder here. We hope for a crit here because we're not hitting anything else. We didn't get it. That's not surprising. And I think what we want here is probably just to deploy, maybe even, let's Into the Breach a Broken Vengeance out. If he wants to come out. Okay, he did. So we'll move him over here. And the reason we're going to do it here is because we want to just make sure that we get the chain in case we don't kill it for some reason. I don't know why we wouldn't. So I would want to stow away here, but we want to keep Toxoid, and Astra is the one that... and Aria is the one we want to lose, so that's not an efficient use here. Okay, so right, so we're in a good spot again. They've got 6 crew left overall, we've got 7. We're on 13 health, but we've got healing and armor for late game, so I think our next plan is going to be using Disruptor to try and kill Bytol as quickly as we can. It might even be that Bytol's something we need, but with potentially 8 Cinder next turn, we can just kill a couple of things here and there. Okay, so they're going for the Toxoid onto probably Broken... Well, this is a mistake because they need to get the crit. That's quite awkward because we've got armor here. Oh, no, yeah, because they can get the extra attack. Yes, this works. So Bytol and Toxoid's quite interesting. This is why I was thinking Bytol might be good in our list, because it does help that poison just creep its way through the armor a little bit better. So yeah, this can absolutely take us down to 1. Because they positioned it in range of both, so they both do damage. That's really good for them. So the question is, do we have a way of dealing with their Toxoid? I think the answer might be our own Toxoid. If we can move Bytol out of range, but we don't have a way of giving this armor straight away. We do have armor. So let's go with Defense Dome on all our things. We're then going to move these over this way. So this now loses a damage. We can then chain this thing to death. Oh no, because we don't take damage, but yeah, so we just need to kill it with Astra. And then, again, I think we want to save our stowaway. Although our defense dome can move over here and just... sorry, Astra can move because she killed a unit and save our cinder, that's it. So, again, I want to grow another cinder. Pop it back here. Try and be safe. This is an interesting spot. I like their list, so I think Bytol might be a good tech piece here, but I don't know what I'd swap it out for, because I really do want Florio Lancer in this sort of list. And I think it might even be the turn that next turn we're playing Florio anyway, because we're going to have 10 Cinder, so we're going to be too short of being able to do everything we want to. They're obviously going to attack the defense dome here. It's their only real choice. But what we're going to be trying to do is move Broken Vengeance into range of Bytol, and then we're going to be putting the Nectarvine out here, or we're just going to try and work our way onto dealing with Maximus. So both of these are viable options here, especially with something like Toxoid being able to help us get onto Maximus. So there's a good chance we can at least get him down to 1. I think Nectarvine has to be our play next turn, but we're not in a world of hurt here. Is this a... Oh, the Bulwark. Okay. That's not what I was expecting to see. I honestly think there's a good chance we can just move away from this and not have to worry about it again. So this takes us down really low, but if we body block it well, and then next turn we can probably even just save it with Nectarvine, and play Nectarvine and like something else. Yeah, so let's move this over here. Get the additional Cinder. So we obviously need to be careful of the Bulwark, but I almost feel like... Where's our line of sight go to? Blocked would be... Because there's no line of sight here, is there? I don't believe so. We've got 10 Cinder, we need to keep this safe. So let's just pop over here. I think our plan's going to be play the Nectarvine. I think we messed up our Cinder again as well, but oh well. We're going to play Nectarvine over here. we're going to shoot... So if we move in this, we might be able to shoot Vital without... Yeah, without having to get in range there. And then with 6 cinder left, we probably just play Florio at the back. Because I think next turn is when we're going to try and do the whole Toxoid and kill this. So hopefully this will keep us out of range. They've got... Oh no, they've got all their assists, so yeah, they can absolutely kill this. I messed that up. I forgot about these assists. So we're still getting value out of this, but this is... we need to be aggressively moving towards this in order to get the Toxoid kill. So that was a mistake on my part there. This can all die to Florio. So this is all fine, unless it misses, which is very unlikely. Yep. But yeah, moving over here, getting Toxoid in, and then getting the kill on that should be fairly easy. It just means we're not going to be able to use Florio for a turn. So what are they going with here? If they go on Broken Vengeance, that is absolutely fine. I think they've not realised how this works. They're just going to be dying. Oh, they didn't take any damage. Okay, that's fine then. So the interesting thing here with Stowaway, Arya is just going to eventually become a good unit. And I think what we have on the board at the moment is actually very useful. Okay, so if they don't place this properly, we can still do the Toxoid thing, but if they place it properly, we might not be able to. Okay, so they've got another Sentinel. Interesting. So, with their Vortex, they've got good positioning with this. So yeah, we can't actually fit through this gap, which is very awkward here. So it might just be that we just have to go for a different approach and just move everything this way. So we can just throw out Toxoid, but at this point, if we're having to ditch that and go aggro... Okay, so let's just move Florio down this way to get these guys probably dead. What's the best angle we can get there? So this puts Astra slightly at risk, but we can move again afterwards. Which we got. Perfect. So we're going to move up here. You know what? I think we just have to ditch Toxoid here and see what 4-drop we get. It's another Tipu. Ooh, that's good. So we're going to disrupt this that way. And then we're going to play a Tipu just about here, I think. Try and make it so that Astra can't run away very easily whatsoever. And see if this can be our way of ending the game. It's annoying that it took Toxoid because we knew it would, but we didn't have much choice here. So this can only hit Astra. We've got the option of moving Astra back to be defensive in future turns if we need to. She's only really got one more use anyway. And then I think what they're going to need to try and do is, they can go up here, but I think they're going to need to try and come over there because we can just bombard them to death from range at this rate. And if they can't get damage onto Tipu soon, they're in a lot of trouble. So we've got 4 units left, they've got 3. 2 of theirs are good, but they're immobile, and we both have movement assists. So what is this going to be? This is Switchback. Okay, so that can pretty much deal with our Tipu there, which is pretty unfortunate. Oh, this is such an interesting game. I think we might have lost this, but I'm still kind of okay with this because we've got a lot of interesting gameplay out of this video. Okay, and now they get their 4 damage in here. So we also are just out of range of getting into this as well. So Arya's no use here. We need to try and deal with Switchback. So I think this is the Switchback attack. We just go onto it here, and then try and deal additional damage to it next turn. Florio can bombard these 2, but does it do anything is the question. Like, is there any world in which we're actually trying to kill these? Or do we take a bigger risk, and can we get in range up there? So I think we go this way, and just try and bombard here. Maybe this wasn't the right attack with Switchback, but this next turn it puts us in range of that as well. Astra is absolutely going to be hiding down here. Get our range attack off onto their Astra, I guess. And then I think I almost want to grow a cinder as like a body block somewhere. So if I grow a cinder like here, can I get it out of range of their Astra? Not quite. Let's put it here just so it's harder for them to hit us. And then next turn we can stow away Aria into something more useful. They shouldn't be able to kill us this turn because we've blocked Switchback in potentially, but if they can get out here, there's a good chance they can get enough damage out. Yep, so this is 4 plus 6, that's 10, 11, and they got the flechette, so we could be dead here. In fact, we should be dead here if they don't miss anything. Interesting. And, oh, and a crit, yeah, we're absolutely dead. Nice. See, I thought this list was going to do better, I'll be honest, because I played a bunch of games off camera, and I think I've won 7 or 8 out of 10 games, but this hasn't gone that way at all. This has gone exactly the opposite, which is how you know I'm not selecting my footage and giving you an inaccurate response. So, but here, the issue was, it was the late game. So maybe I should have just Toxoided earlier and taken something else out. Again, I'm not sure how to play this yet, but I feel like this is right. Like, is there anything I'd want to put in versus instead of Broken Vengeance, basically? Because Broken Vengeance is the one that's been the most lackluster so far. I'm really missing being 3 attack. So let's just have a quick look through and see where we want to go. So Axel Pyro is an option. It's a very powerful unit. Does a lot of damage. Peacemaker Balam could be good in this. I actually think Peacemaker Balam could be very good in this. It's good in sort of every matchup, stunning things. Maybe that's what we want to do. We've not had any real issues with Cinder. I might save that for another video, but Crosshair's another option just as a solid 3 damage. Yeah, I think one of those could be a good option in the future. But we're going to play one more game for now. And we're just going to try and have a bit of fun and maybe revisit this in a future video. So, as you can see from the list name, this is a test, but I think it's got the beginnings of something really useful. So, the version of the list that I built this on and based on originally, it also had things like Mequani Thicket in there. And I found that Mequani Thicket didn't do what I needed it to do. Obviously, it can one-shot a unit, and I should have been doing that with Tipu in the last game, but I never really felt like I had the opportunity. But Mequani Thicket did a similar thing, but again, that's just very expensive, and I think after the fact that you've done that, Mequani Thicket didn't do that much. For this list, I actually think Escape Hatch and Lifeline is great. This is absolutely the thing we want to be doing. We're playing the long game. Okay, so they are our Exterior, so we can just sneak in for a shot, see if we get it. We do not surprising, and grow our Cinder. This is a really good starting position. This is one of the reasons I think Astra might be good, is because on turn 2, she can almost always have 4 Cinder. If you're going first, you can protect it very easily. If you're going second, you get the second wind. So I think Astra might have a lot of potential there. So here we can't do anything about Maximus, but what we want to do is just bring him in. I think it's too big of a risk to try not to just do something here. So 10% shot is better than a 4% shot. So we're going to pop in over here, try and hide. But with 4 Cinder now, we can play something like... I mean, in this specific situation, Broken Vengeance is great. And we're just going to place him fairly far forward, in my opinion. So he's technically blocked at the moment, but that's going to change. So let's just play Broken Vengeance up here. Because Broken Vengeance does really well versus a Maximus. Next turn we're going to have our Defense Dome anyway, and we're going to have Lifeline. So we're going to have 3 Cinder next turn, and that's when I'm going to be playing Beatris Enforcer and building another Cinder Orb up. So if this is a melee unit, we're in good hands. It is. So this is not a good melee unit for us to play with, though. We don't like this. This is going to hurt. If they go for this, Maximus should, in theory, die. So I'm hoping they've realised that. Is this Disruptor? Yeah, Disruptor. Okay. I'm hoping they don't go for Broken Vengeance and they just go for Astra instead, which is the correct choice. This chain is an awkward one as well, because we actually just need to move away from this. That crit is very unfun for us to deal with. It might even be actually here that we place Beatris in front. And just, yeah, wait, we're playing Beatris anyway. So we can just move back, take this shot, take this attack. We're going to place Beatris first. We can go, let's pop her in here because it stops the Broken Vengeance chain and make them have to move to get there as well. And we're going to move. So if we, let's escape hatch first. We kind of want it to be back here somewhere, but yeah, that's just out of range of Beatris. That was probably a mistake there, but we can move this way and we can try and grow our cinder nice and safe back here. They don't quite have enough damage to deal with this yet, and we can't heal it anyway. So I think this is the play. This is slightly awkward. I should have deployed Beatris after this. So is this Vortex? Ion Storm. Okay. I'm okay with that. They can attack Tipu with Beatris, but Beatris does really well into Tipu in general. This Maximus shouldn't hit yet. And then next turn, so we've potentially got 6 Cinder. So we can into the breach our own Tipu if we need to, which is hopefully what we're going to do and take out their Tipu. So the reason I've done it this way is we should have maybe put the orb up here so it's a bit more near where we want to be, but we can just defense stone back to take this, move forward with Astra, and then Tipu forwards. So we only need one thing to hit. Snaring, okay, we don't care about that too much. Yeah, and if they go for the hit here, we might be able to hit them back. Ooh, the crit, that is so important. Excellent. Okay, I feel a lot better now. So we might as well go for this first, see if we can just survive. Oh no, because it could grow. Let's not let it grow. Let's start with just a Broken Vengeance shot. And we'll move back here to take it, because that way we should still be in range of the defense dome if that goes off. Okay, we did miss, that's fine. So now we can just move over here, move back here to claim this. We should all still be in range. And what we're going to do is we're just going to into the breach, Shrapnel. Shrapnel is going to come over here and go for this. Perfect. So that was a really good defensive movement from us. We could heal Beatris for 2 here, and I think that is what we're going to do, just to be using our cooldowns quite efficiently. No one else got any actions, so we'll move on from there. So, yeah, they can move the defense dome away from everything. If I were them, I'd probably move the dome this way and just try and kill it, to be honest. But we're absolutely going to be moving it back over and trying to sort of build ourselves around it. What could this be? Okay, this is Jailbreak. That's fine. We're not too worried about Jailbreak because with a couple of attacks, we can just run in with Broken Vengeance, and that will be a fun little cycle. Or in fact, we can actually just bring this in and Broken Vengeance, and that ends all of this. Maximus's only good target is Astra, and they've not got a good angle on it. If they attack any of these, Maximus is just not going to do anything and is probably going to die. Yeah. So he can move again because he didn't move first, which is fine. But again, this isn't a good list for Maximus to try and fight into. So the games I've had so far, obviously we did get run over a little bit, but I feel like there's a lot of potential here. I don't feel like this is just a one-sided, this list isn't that good. I think it might need a bit more help versus the aggro lists, maybe even just down to better unit choices, but I think it has a lot of potential. So I think they forgot to attack with Snaring, or they attacked something else. Immobile from Jailbreak, yeah, maybe. But we're going to bring Broken Vengeance in for this. No, we didn't move into range. I was trying to move. Oh, that's really awkward. Well, we've got another option. That was not what I wanted to do there. Get this. Toxoid can just move behind this to be a little bit safer. Broken Vengeance into the dome. We'll bring Shrapnel over here just to try and get some damage onto Maximus. It's a miss, but that's fine. Keep this melee attack going. So yeah, there they literally crit for 1. Honestly, I think we just stay there. We could take a pot shot there, but no. Moving slightly back to here, I think this is where we want to be. Leave Beatris there. I think this is a good spot. So we can bring down Florio next turn for free. Escape Patch is great in this list, by the way. So if you see that, it's probably quite a high take. But yeah, we can bring Florio down for free. If it lands in here, it only takes 1 damage. We can play a Nectarvine. So that's a dead Maximus. And if it all goes to plan, we can actually deal damage to Extilior as well. Yeah, I think this has built up quite a nice little fortress. We can only fit 1 more unit on. Yeah, we go. Our opponent, so it was a level 0 opponent. So it turns out this list can beat people who aren't as experienced with the game in general. I don't think that's a surprise. I do feel sorry for our opponent coming against something that's built to be a little bit skewed against aggressive list and playing a fairly aggressive Extilior list as well. So apologies to our opponent there. All in all, I don't feel like our win-loss ratio reflects how I feel about the list. I do feel like it's got a lot of potential. You can almost always get a 4-drop down turn 2, and probably it should be Shrapnel more often than I'm playing it. It should probably be that almost every time, rather than Broken Vengeance, who I seem to have a little preference for. But having that turn 2 every turn is great. Being able to play turn 3 Beatris and another orb and try and sort of keep building up the cinder, and then turn after that being able to play our other 4-drop, potentially a 5-drop, or into breaching Toxoid. I think this has potential. I think maybe I haven't picked the right units, but I think the potential is absolutely there. I think having 2 4-drops that are proactive rather than Nectarvine is quite important, so trying to figure out another one is quite important rather than just using Broken Vengeance. It could be Bytor, but I think Bytor doesn't add enough to the table. Chuck and Co could be a good option, actually. Maybe Chuck and Co is the option over Broken Vengeance and going for another armor unit. So that's something I might have to try in the future, because Tipu we obviously want in the list, but we don't want it to be our turn 4 play. And then Taurian Guardian, actually. So maybe Broken Vengeance isn't the right pick, but we've got 2 other really good choices for this. I'm going to keep working on this list. I've enjoyed it, and I think it's got a lot of potential. Hopefully you've enjoyed the videos. If you've got any other suggestions, make sure you drop them in the comments. You can like the video, I really appreciate it, and then let's get back on those subscribers. So we've hit 100, we've had our little celebration for it, and our next goal is going to be 250. So we've got quite a long way to go, but every single subscription really helps. Every time I get that notification on my phone, it really does put a smile on my face. So keep going with that. I really do appreciate it. And other than that, have a good day.